And I woke up one day and I had like what I thought was like a sharp kind of gas pain. And I rolled over like trying to get it out, and the gas pain it's just spread across my like whole midsection and dropped down into like my right top of my quad and was everywhere, and I moved again and it spread like over across the rest of my intestines, and I knew something was really wrong, and I couldn't reach over to, I had a phone next to the bed, and I couldn't reach. Every movement just hurt. It was like dull knives pouring into me, and I couldn't reach the phone to call 911, and I just laid there, and I'm like, well, this is it, man. Whatever's wrong, I had no idea what was wrong, but then this is it. It's over, you know? And I was kind of thinking that day would come, just wasn't sure when. And a lot of thoughts came to my head then, like, man, part of my whole dream wasn't like, when I was 16 and 17 and 18, saw my friends getting strung out, like that wasn't part of my dream, like becoming this bad. It's not, it was just to play music. It was all the things I just told you about, like moving to LA, finding your band, doing that thing, being able to like hitchhike 1,100 miles and being aware and write the songs and do the stuff and do the work. And here I was, I couldn't even reach the fucking phone next to my bed. And my best friend, Andy, who's still my best friend, we've been best friends since we were 3. He came over, I heard him downstairs. He came, my car was in the garage, so he knew I was home. My keys, my wallet were downstairs. So I'm here, I'm like, where are you, man? Where are you? He comes up the stairs and he sees me on the bed. He's like, oh, fuck. Finally happened. I was bad for a few years before that. So he got me to, there was a doctor like 2 blocks from my house at an office. Right. And this doctor, his dad had birthed all of us kids. So it was the doctor's son had become a doctor. And I go into the doctor's office and it's like, I couldn't talk, right? I could barely move. Like, and even the car ride, just getting down from my bedroom, extremely, extremely painful. It took me to the doctor's office. There was nobody in there. The doctor came, you know, okay, what's he been doing? Like, and he's like, I don't know, you know. And it was like I wasn't even there. They were having this conversation. I couldn't talk. Shot me up with 2 shots of Demerol. I knew what that should do. It didn't do shit. And so Andy got me to Northwest Hospital. The doctor said, you'll get him there faster than the ambulance. We call one. Like, go now. I'll meet you guys there. And they got me into, it took me into the emergency room. I was laying on the ground. I couldn't move. And they got me in and shot me up with morphine and all kinds of stuff. Did it. My doctor arrived. They did an ultrasound. They didn't know what was going on, but he had an idea. Like, I was alcohol. It was drugs. It was checked my heart. My pancreas had expanded to the size of a football and burst. So it was all the enzymes that digest your food were on the outside. So it was just eating up. The outsides of your intestines and stomach and quad muscles. That's why I felt it down there. And so what they do, you know, I mean, it was very beyond serious at that point. My doctor, they were going to go in and take part of it out. I would be on dialysis at best if I didn't, you know, die of shock from the pain at first, right? I'm hearing all this stuff going on. I signed the surgeon comes in, I signed the thing. I'm like, I told the guy, I said, just kill me. I can't take this. Like, I'm on morphine. Now I'm starting to have withdrawals from alcohol, right? So they get me a Librium in the other arm, right? Because you can die from alcohol withdrawals, right? This is all fresh news to me as it's going down. Pancreas bursts, size of a football. There's enzymes on the out, it's eating you. They open up your stomach to let the steam out to relieve some of the pain before you die, you know? Okay. And I just told the surgeon, just kill me, man. I mean, there's nothing left for me. And they didn't. So I spent the night there, like ice chips. I had Librium in one arm with the button, right, and I had morphine in the other arm with the buttons on both of them. I was just pressing the buttons continuously, and the ice chips are I'm in intensive care, so there's always somebody there. And they did an ultrasound before the surgery, and my pancreas has actually kind of come down, back down. And my doctor said, we're going to wait for the surgery. And just kept me on ice chips and my room and the morphine, and checked again. Did another ultrasound that night. It kept coming down. And my doctor, by the next day, they did another ultrasound. He goes, okay, listen, man, I want you to hear me. You've been given a second chance. Don't fucking waste it. And I stayed in the hospital for about 14 days, that hospital. They moved me out of intensive care after about 5 days. They took the buttons away, which sucked. You know, and then I went, but I, you know, my mom had Parkinson's. I told you I have 8 kids in my family. My mom was much older than me. But to see your mom in a wheelchair, you know, with Parkinson's, crying because her son's got tubes running in it. I just, you know, I was like levitated above the bed, and I'm looking at her and looking at me, and like, but the order of things is wrong here. I should be taking care of her. You know, you failed, you fuck up, you know, you fucking moron. So that was my calling, you know, like I was like, okay, you're off booze, you know, even though I had things in my arms, you're off booze, you're off cocaine, you're off all the other drugs, like, this is your chance, like, and the doctor's voice reverberating around my head, don't fuck up, don't fuck it up. You've been given a second chance, and seeing my mom and all of that. And it really changed everything, man, for me. And I came out of the hospital. They had a rehab for me to go to. And I'm like, I'm done. I am done. I didn't know how to live, you know. But that was a long time ago now, you know, to recall that. Now it's starting to seem like a long time ago. Maybe 10 years ago, it wasn't that long ago, but now, because I think of, you know, eventually I met my wife. Like I got into martial arts after that.
After the rehab?
No rehab. I had to come back down to LA from Seattle.